And welcome to the What's Your Story podcast. I'm Missy Day.
And I am Michelle Hausbeck. Welcome.
And with us today is our friend,
Stacy Mulligan. Oh, we're in trouble already.
I know. Stacy is here to share with us one of my absolute favorite things she does, which is the leadership game.
The coveted leadership game.
Yes. But before we get to that, you want to tell everyone what you do?
Yes, I do.
What do you do?
What do you do? What do you do anyway? So, I'm Stacy Mulligan, Maxwell Certified Speaker, Trainer, and Coach, and I help people grow and evolve into the leaders they were meant to be. And I do that with one of these tools, the leadership game.
And how did you come across this leadership game?
The real story or the secret story? Yes, so through the John Maxwell program, you can level up into their mentorship program, and you can then have access to the leadership game. And I tried to figure out all sorts of ways to get the leadership game without doing that, and that's not possible. And my friend Missy said, you will not dare do this, and you will not dare spend that much money to join. I hope John Maxwell's not listening to this, but
I love you, John.
We do. But she thought there has to be a way, and she searched and searched and searched, and nothing even on the black market. So what you see here was purchased in the proper manner and done through the right
It is not like the dark web leadership game.
But it is the coveted leadership game. No one touches the cards. No drinks on the table. I have strict rules because this was difficult enough to get. I doubt they're going to replace it for me if somebody spills.
Right.
So.
Yeah, so Stacy did a beta, for lack of a better term, leadership game with a group of us, and Missy and I had the pleasure of being there, and I fell in love with this. I wish I led like a huge corporation that I could just bring it in over and over again. But the great part is, whether you're an individual business owner or a large corporation, it's a fun way to dig deep and start conversations that probably would be awkward, honestly, without some fun put into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just thoroughly enjoyed it and learned about myself and from everybody else, and it's a game. I mean,
right. The time flies by. It requires about 2.5 hours, and I'm sure people think that's a long time to sit there, but every time I've played the leadership game with people, they're like, it's over?
Yeah.
Like, yes, it's been almost 3 hours.
I wanted to keep going.
It's over. You're going to need to go home or go back to work. Yeah.
So you have some cards there.
I do. I have some cards. Yes, you're eyeballing the cards.
I am.
So I have some cards. It's ultimately a card game that I facilitate in your company or with your team. And there's all kinds of cards. So the fun part is that there's a silent time card, and everybody gets one so that they can stifle maybe the people around the table who are always talking. Maybe be used on me. There's an agree and disagree card because there are debates in there.
Yes.
And so it's really fun to make people debate against what they believe. And then all kinds of other cards, peer cards, so that you can give your peers some kudos, appreciation. There are points that can be won and somebody wins. But I would say you're all winners. You don't go home with a trophy, but you're all winners when you dive deep. There's some deep questions on here, some that have made some people at this table have some revelations. Yes, like some probing questions.
Should we play around?
Michelle?
Yeah, I'll pick a card. I just have like one of each. So here's one for an organization. I'll let you read it. So we'll assume that we rolled the dice and that Missy picked this, and we're all part of one team, one organization.
The statement in our question is, don't manage your time, manage your life. What are 2 habits or priorities that should be changed now in order to achieve the results you want 1 to 2 years from now? Great question.
Right?
We should have had
So-
this today at the mastermind, actually.
We should have.
That's a great
well,
one.
we're going to be playing soon. But I mean, this works for the organization as a whole, or like you said, when we all did it together, we're doing it as a group, as the mastermind group. And so that could be your individual goals or just your, your goals as a group. And, some probing questions like, here, we'll give this one
Okay.
to you. So
great.
rolled the dice, picked up a green card,
All right.
personal leadership.
Personal leadership. Search until you find your why. Oh. When do you most feel like you are doing exactly what you were created to do? Wow, I've been asking myself that for like the last year.
Yeah. So if we were playing, then you would partner up with somebody next to you, jot some things down on Post-its, and then we'd discuss it as a group. And, things come out. Things come out. When you get in deep and you actually invest in the game, there's magic that happens around the table. Yeah.
I think the cool thing about this game, why it's one of the reasons it's an excellent tool, is because for people that have been in leadership roles for years and years, oftentimes think, oh, leadership, I've got that thing down, I know what I'm doing. When in essence you really don't. And the reason is because things change all the time. We're in a year now that so much has changed that corporations are struggling because they're bringing people back to an office where they haven't had to be for many years. Things are changing. The economy's changing. And what I love about this is because it brings your team together in a way that they would never normally be together, talking about things that they would never talk about if it wasn't for this game.
Yeah.
So what would you say to companies, the feedback that you've had when you've gone and trained at companies for this game? Give us some of the feedback.
So, yeah, there's so much, but I would say that a majority of it as a whole, for all of them, they all enjoy the actual team camaraderie and the connection that happens around the table. That they say, well, we don't normally have a chance to do that and actually get to know each other, and they leave feeling connected and appreciated. This is actually, you pick the cards, but you pick the cards as you play the game, but I stack the deck because I think it's, depending on where I am, because I think it's important that the right questions come up. But this is actually one of everybody's favorites, and when I did a three hospital retreat, we did this. So there were about 30 people in the room at 3 different hospitals that were the same, that came together. And this was their favorite one. So it was walk around the room. We did this at the end and write down the leadership strengths of each participant on a sticky note and give it to them. And you would have thought that this was like the best thing ever. Almost every person who commented about how they enjoyed it, that was their favorite part. And it wasn't the receiving of all the Post-its, it was the giving. And they got to get up and hand them out, and it just brings such great energy. And they leave feeling like, wow, I didn't know that you thought that of me, or I'm so glad I got to tell you that, rather than, oh, did you get the memo? I need the thing.
Right.
So it's really nice. It's, it can be touchy-feely and it can be straight down to business, but the point of it is to bring things out that you wouldn't think of. One of the questions is, name 3 people that have contributed to your success. And I can remember some people answering, not who you might think, not like, oh, well, my professor in college or this person who gave me a job, but so much deeper than that. And sometimes there's emotion, but it brings people together so well. It's magic. Like, I don't know another word to say it. And
I think it's interesting. It humanizes
yes.
the people. These are people that you probably see a lot, and if you're in a corporation, you're working with them, but they're their jobs. They're what they're supposed to do, and I didn't get this, or you did this, right? They're not. You forget sometimes, I think, that they're human, right? And they have things going on, and they have feelings and aspirations, and this game does such a great job of giving them an opportunity to breathe and be in this space. And it's like, oh, Okay.
It gives them permission to let their guard down and
Right.
not have to be in charge for a minute.
Right.
Because I've seen people in the higher level actually verbally thank people beneath them in the company and say that if it weren't for you helping me when I was in this position, I wouldn't be doing such a good job. And I mean, how often do you think that's going to happen?
Right.
They're not going to walk around and say, hey, thanks for motivating me and teaching me a few things about corporation and things like that. But that happened, and it's delightful to watch, and it's nice. People leave with a different mindset, and hopefully they stay connected. I think it's something that should be played often because things change. I mean, you played twice.
Right.
Yeah, and both times in some version, something else happened and came to you because you're in a different place when you're sitting around the table again.
So who or how many people is this built for? Like smallest to biggest?
It's built for 12, up
Okay.
to 12. You could have more than that, but then it's difficult to keep it intimate then. So it's usually, I did play it on a large scale, but I just I improvised because I wanted to have the questions,
Right.
Answered. So it even worked in a large group, but it is much better for, 5 to 12 around the table.
Have you heard feedback like after they've played it? Okay, they've gone back to their worlds. How the game has lasting impact with the companies?
I think, just like most things, people go somewhere and they're like, oh, this is great, and I love all of this, and I'm going to implement everything. And then, they wake up and now it's back to normal. But I think a lot of it stays with them, especially the Post-its, the little stickies with your strengths, because we write them on sticky notes so that you can put them places and remind yourself. We also do like a poster board with all the ideas that are about the organization themselves. So all the ideas go on the board, and then there should be displaying it somewhere so they're reminded. Oh, we said we were going to do these 2 things, or these were our 2 threats that were coming up in the next 24 months, things like that. So I hope that it stays with them, but just like anything else, you're going to maybe keep one thing. But I have had people email me asking for something, and then they say, oh, my favorite part was, and so I guess something sticks with them.
Yeah.
And I hope something sticks with everybody, but
It does.
yeah.
So our friend John Maxwell has a saying he's been saying for years: if you're not growing, you're dying. And so if your company is dying, I'm going to suggest to you that it's probably because you stopped growing somewhere along the line. So if there's a company out there that's dying and needs to grow or get kickstart,
Right?
how would they get in touch with you?
Yes, you can get in touch with me at stacyspeaks.com, and I'll put all of my information in the podcast, and just reach out to me. We'll schedule a game. It'll be fun.
And if you want a double whammy, she's also DISC certified. And before you roll your eyes and say, oh, that's just that circle thing with a dot on it, John Maxwell and his team has totally revamped DISC, and it's amazing. You get a booklet and you get far more information than you would ever need about who you are and how you deal with people and others and your team. So if you would like to get a double whammy and really be a company that's alive and thriving, then you want to reach out to Stacy and ask about the DISC and along with the leadership game.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. We can do a disc in the morning and then the leadership game later on, and your heads will be spinning.
In a good way.
And
In a good way.
And you'll use it at home and at work.
So I hear you're a speaker also.
You hear? Yeah, I am.
So Stacy's part of the What's Your Story Speaker Bureau, and she has incredible not only personal stories, but life stories and work stories. And so if you would like to book Stacy for your conference or convention, or just come in to raise awareness to your team about exactly what we've been talking about, you can reach out to Missy at missyday.com, or go to thewhatyourstory.com and check out Stacy on there about her speaking skills, which she's very good at.
She
Thank
is.
you. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's nice to have you on.
Yeah.
Thank you
I love
for
it.
coming.
Next time we'll play the leadership game for
just
2.5 hours.
I just want to play.
Soon. We're playing soon.
I know.
Yes, we're playing soon. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this segment. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time.